Hi.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, once again, it is indeed time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk with me, your host, J.C. McCauley, along with the champions of talk. This morning's talk champion, none other than Cleo Duke-Wright. Good morning, Miss Cleo. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well.
How was your week?
Oh, well, it was exciting.
I almost asked you, how was your weekend? But, of course, the weekend isn't here yet. Well, that's not true. The weekend's about to be here, but you haven't gone through. Never mind. So your week was good.
My week was good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Do anything exciting this week?
No, not really. Not really. Just did home stuff and fought for my free time. Some of us have to fight for our free time, don't we?
You had to fight for your free time. That means others are using up your time.
That's right. And so I'm trying to fight for it. And then when I escape, my telephone gets, diarrhea of the ring.
That's too funny. Yeah, it's like, your hourglass, the sands in your hourglass are going by and someone's taking scoops of your sand.
Yes.
Hey, wait, what are you doing? Yeah, you're using up my precious time.
That's right.
You
My son said today, I play with time. And I was coming here and I was laughing because I really do. I said 15 minutes. Well, I can do this. Maybe I could do it right. I better go look in and see. I got another thing. I don't have to leave until this time. And then I'm doing something and I hear a voice from the other room. It's almost 8 o'clock. You're always doing this. And I was ready to leave. But, I was a little worried about my husband. So I just keep looking at him. Looking this way and looking at him that way. And I said, "Now I want you to stay in the bed and look at this way," And then I go out and do it again. So, and I do the same thing when I get up in the morning. Oh, I got 15 more minutes. Oh, I got 5 more minutes. I know I'm not the only one that does this.
No, you're not the only one that does that. I'll try and squeeze every last minute out of the morning because, of course, we're on the air at 8, and if you all watch us live for the Friday program, you'll notice we always come on a little bit after 8 o'clock.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's not only Cleo's fault. I think Cleo kind of feels the blame, but if she ever got here on time, oh my goodness. So I'm depending on her not to actually be here at 8. And so I'll get in the studio on Fridays at 7:15. I have to be in here at 7:30, but I'll get up at 7:30. So yeah.
So I'm not good. I'm glad I'm not the only one like that. Running around doing trying to do everything, and no, you can't do it. Trying to do everything, and how many of us are like that, and you can't do everything. You can't do everything by yourself. No. But you're running around trying to fill this need, that need, and the other need in. Eventually you get home and you are cranky. And people say, "Oh, what's wrong with you? All I'm doing is sitting here." And I want to punch him out. All I'm doing is sitting here. Are you going to make some supper?
Ooh.
Boom. 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 I said, "You've been sitting here." What? Oh. Both my husband and my son, they can cook. And my matter of fact, my son could really cook, probably as good or better than me. But you make the best sandwiches. I can't make them like you. So I'll go make the sandwich. But I'm getting smart. The Al-Anon book says the courage to change. The courage. So I'm trying to change. These people.
Well, I mean, if you can complain about the need to eat, then you can also create the opportunity to eat by cooking something.
Thank you. That's right. Just cook something.
Mm-hmm.
And my son's a really good cook, and he likes all these foods that I don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat them, and I don't cook them. He loves duck. I don't eat duck.
Duck.
And he cooks duck. He'll tell you everything to do about a duck. He used to get He used to go to the farm and pick out a pig. I can't do that.
Oh, then you gotta cut the thing up.
And then they say, which one do you want? He tells them which one. They kill a pig and do whatever they do. And he used to have those things in his backyard where he roasts the pig. I can't do that either. I can't see something alive running around and then I'm gonna turn around and eat it. that is just. I mean, I don't eat too much meat or at all now, but something that was alive, and all your animals were once alive,
mm-hmm.
but you didn't see them alive.
I guess that's part of the convenience of being able to go to the store and just get your meat all nicely sliced, like it came from a factory or something. It wasn't actually once. I think that's one of the main reasons. You're supposed to give thanks for the food for which we're about to receive, because the thing was alive. It gave up its life to sustain you.
Oh, and I do think of that. Because that's in the Bible too. I do think of that a lot, and that's why I don't eat too much meat. And seeds, you're supposed to eat seeds and grain and vegetables and all of that. You know what I'm trying to find out? I'm trying to, when there was when they're in the garden and it didn't say anything about eating the meat. So I'm wondering, when did we start eating meat? I can't figure that out. When did we start eating meat?
You mean humanity or in a biblical context?
I mean, well, biblically, it doesn't say when they started eating meat.
I don't know. I don't know. I've never done a deep dive on that. I know there are those who say, man's jaws aren't really designed to eat meat. They're designed to eat grain. And should we really be consuming
but they've
meat?
been doing that for thousands and thousands of years, eating meat. So, in the meat, in the sacrifices of. Mm-hmm. So when did they become farmers? When they get, I was just wondering about that, because how could you say we don't eat meat and we've been eating it for thousands and thousands of years?
Well, I think that if I guess my snide comment to those who would say that you shouldn't be eating meat because our mouths aren't designed for that. Look at the animals' mouths. As well, animals don't cook their food. If you cook meat, it's not that hard to eat.
That's
but
right.
if you can't cook your food like lions and tigers, then you have to have special different kind of mouth to bite into the meat. You use a knife and a fork. You don't.
Yes. So I don't get it. Did one day an animal die? It fell into the fire. We burnt them, and then so we said that smells good.
I think we were designed to eat meat. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we've been eating meat a long time. Although there's a lot of people who no longer eat meat. There are people who, there are some people, of course, who won't interact with you if you were, a murderous meat eater.
We say so many things and we know so little.
Mm-hmm.
So many things we don't know. I mean, meat hasn't killed us. I mean, what's killing us is what we're doing to the meat. But meat itself,
mm-hmm.
If it was in the natural, would it be terrible?
Now, I would suggest this: if people had to go out and get their own meat, things might be different. No, things wouldn't be different. I mean, for decades, for centuries, for millennium, people have been going out and hunting
That's right.
The daily catch. The men would go out, they would hunt, they would bring it back, they slice it up, dress it up, this, that, and the third. And then so meat is a very good sustainer of energy and proteins, and they transfer to you. I mean, there's creatures in the kingdom, in the animal kingdom, that
eat each
meat.
other.
Yeah.
So it was just something I was wondering about.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't eat meat for so long. Now I do eat a little more than I used to, but the smell of it sometimes bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. I push it away. And most of the things that I eat are not meat, but
Mm-hmm.
I just wondered about that. And when did we decide that we should eat meat, and when did it start? I would just like to know.
Would be an interesting topic to research. We have a mayor's race here in Connecticut. In Hartford, that just kicked off this week with Judge Coleman, former state senator, former state rep, attorney, and he made his announcement this week that he's running for mayor. We have the footage, so we're gonna play Judge Coleman's announcement. We're gonna cover all of the candidates that make announcements, unless of course they make an announcement and just don't let us know, But it's our intention to cover all of the people who run for mayor, from the high-profile individuals such as Judge Coleman to the person that just thinks they should run for mayor because they have a group of friends at their high school that think they should run. So if you're of age to run for the office of mayor, let me know and I'll cover your event. Channel 30 might not come and cover it, or Fox 61 or Channel 8, but I will come and cover your event. So Judge Coleman made his big announcement.
Yeah.
And, of course, it came the day after the bombshell announcement that the current mayor is not seeking re-election, which just opens the floodgates for all kinds of people that would run but were afraid that they would be challenging the king. So Judge Coleman, of course, has been talking about running for a long time. I think the mayor's announcement caught everybody by surprise. But we'll jump into Judge Coleman's announcement. So stay with us. Watch this. We'll talk a little bit afterwards, and then we'll come back and see what you think. All right, you put your comments in the chat. All right, stick and stay. We're gonna jump over. This was at the Artist Collective. Morning Talk. Don't go anywhere.
Is my dear friend. Yes, sir. He's been a mentor to me for years, as he has been for hundreds, if not thousands of people. Yes, sir. Over the course of his storied and honestly distinguished career of public service. We all know him. And that's why we're here. A man who has knocked on our doors and called and helped our kids, called up our parents. A man who has been there tirelessly, and a lot of times behind the scenes. I think most of us in this room can point to a time and place where they picked up the phone and called this man, and he answered.
Yes, sir.
And I know that's why I'm standing here today, too. A gentleman who has been at the forefront, at the vanguard of nearly every piece of progressive legislation, successful progressive legislation of our generation. A man who is in our hearts and certainly on our minds when we think of excellence, reserve, steadfastness, dignity, but also strength.
That's right.
Because there is such strength in dignity. There is such strength in reserve. There is such strength in knowing how to listen to people. And so as I introduce this gentleman today, I can say that I am proud, but I am also a product of being mentored by such a gentleman. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to bring to the stage my friend, my mentor, someone who I honestly can say I do have a lot of love for. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric Coleman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And first thing I want to do is thank everyone for being here. I'm grateful for your presence. The second thing I wanted to do is just to express some sentiments regarding Mayor Broning. And I did send him a personal note to thank him for his service to the city. But I'd simply like to join with others from across the state and thank Mayor Luke Broning for his years of service to the city of Hartford. He has been a thoughtful and tireless advocate for the city, and he made real progress in revitalizing our downtown area and helping to stabilize the city's financial situation. Those of us who care about our capital city owe him respect and gratitude for the work he has performed in our behalf. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have worked with him. I understand and appreciate his decision to want to spend more time with his family. I extend my best wishes to him and his lovely wife and his beautiful children. I also wish him good fortune and fulfillment in his future endeavors. So now to get to my announcement. Let me tell you, in April of this year, I requested and received an informal opinion from the Committee on Judicial Ethics, which permitted me to test the waters concerning a possible candidacy for the mayor's position in Hartford. So for the last 7 or so months, I've been speaking with family, friends, and others regarding some of the challenges confronting the city of Hartford, what characteristics and qualities they would like to see in a mayor, and how they would view my candidacy for that position. From those conversations, I'm proud to report that not only have I received valuable feedback, but also encouragement and expressions of support. Consequently, Today, I am excited to announce that I am officially a candidate for mayor of the city of Hartford. So, not the least of the conversations that I just referenced, because I'm no fool, those conversations occurred with my wife. She's a very special lady, as those of you who know her are aware, and I appreciate her for always being so very supportive of all of my endeavors. So, Pam, you know that I feel very blessed that you're a part of my life, and I thank you for your willingness to be a part of this next chapter. I have 3 children who said that they were going to be there. I see one in the back. I won't name them. I'll leave them their anonymity. So I guess they can choose to be associated with me or not. But I'm very proud of those 3. And I'd just like to acknowledge them and express my pride in them. Additionally, I'm extremely fortunate to be able to reassemble much of the team that has assisted me in many of my successful campaigns for public office. Among others, thank you, Jay, Bruce, Joe, Pat, Christine, Vicky, and Peter, who is a relative newbie to this organization, but he's already made helpful contributions. And of course, I'm hopeful that many who are here this morning, as well as others who could not be, will volunteer time and effort to make this another successful campaign. Why are you running is a legitimate question for anyone to ask any candidate for any public office. My short and simple answer to the question is I'm running because I care about Hartford, and I sincerely believe that I have the background, insight, and experience to lead the city through whatever crisis may be. Some have suggested that I have already enjoyed a long and distinguished career in public service, and at this stage of my life, I should rest on my laurels, just relax, take it easy, play elder statesman, and perhaps travel with Mrs. Coleman. I don't mind the travel with Mrs. Coleman part, and I'm sure all the rest of it would be appealing to many. However, I guess I'm just different.
Yes, sir.
Particularly when out-of-control gun violence and other challenges are confronting Hartford.
Yes.
I'm neither content nor comfortable with merely spectating. While I do not begrudge anyone the opportunity to pursue their ambitions, Hartford is in need of a mayor who's going to focus all of his time, energy, effort, and attention on being the mayor of Hartford. I submit to you that I am that guy. At my stage of the game, I have no aspirations for any other office. Being mayor of Hartford is not a stepping stone for me. I have no interest in being a congressperson. I do not want to go to the U.S. Senate, and I'm sure there are plenty of others who may want to be governor, but not me. I just want to be the mayor of Hartford, Connecticut, and to concentrate all of my focus on meeting the needs of Hartford residents, solving problems, and effectively running the city. You and I have have accomplished so much together. I speak of the repeal of the death penalty, increasing the number of minority and women judges in Connecticut, including sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes, securing financing for the construction of facilities like this Artist Collective. And also community health services and Rawson School. These are things that we've accomplished together, not to mention the decriminalization of marijuana, proactively addressing the use of force by law enforcement, creating a second chance society, and the ban of assault weapons in our state. Our legacy has been and will always be trying to make a difference by doing the best we can for as many as we can for as long as we can. I'm also interested in uplifting working people and families. Putting people to work is what it's all about for me. Support of working people and working families will be a priority of the Coleman administration. In speaking with city workers, I have found that they have some great ideas and worthwhile ideas. Listening to them and providing opportunities for their input regarding how the city should operate will also be an important priority. In fact, I'm very interested in hearing from them as well as the rest of you about what you think are the greatest needs or challenges in our city at this time. I want to hear what you think is good or bad. Your input, thoughts, and ideas are valuable to me as a candidate for mayor, and I want you to know that you can contact me, meet with me, have a conversation with me. This is your city, and what you have to say matters to me and always will. Many, including friends and others whom I know care about me, have commented that Hartford appears to be such a no-win situation. Its problems seem to be so difficult. Why in the world would you or anyone else want to be its mayors? To which I respond, why do our Hartford firefighters, for example, do what they do, while others run out of and away from burning buildings? They run into and to those same buildings. Much like our brave and courageous Hartford firefighters, the genuine public servant confronts problems and challenges rather than seeking to avoid, ignore, or go around them. The true public servant doesn't do things because they are easy. We do things precisely because they are hard. And we do those things all with the intent and objective of making a difference. A true public servant views a problem, no matter how tough, as something that needs to be solved. I came to Hartford in 1974. At that point in time, Hartford was considered the insurance capital of the world. I think it's fair to say that there's been some decline in Hartford from its heyday, but I believe working together we can restore and reinvigorate Hartford if we focus, among other things, on public safety, education, economic development, and fiscal stability. We'll put more meat on those bones as we proceed through this campaign. The restoration of Hartford is a mission that requires all hands.
All right. So, Eric Coleman, Judge Coleman, is in the mix. We'll take a short break, and then we will be right back to talk about it. All right? Get your points of view. If you have any comments you'd like to make, you can leave them in the chat. Stick and Stays Morning Talk.
Hi. So my name is Nelky Maldonado.
My name is Ramon L. Arroyo.
And we know that Hartford Parent University provides good services and resources to parents in our communities, which are greatly needed because a lot of times our parents, they don't know where to go, how to get information, and being part of this program is essential to them in being successful in their children's education.
And I think that parents should get involved in their kids' education because it's very important. Education is, I always believe, is a success in life. If you got a good education, you can be very successful.
So we encourage our parents to please come join the program, ask lots of questions, and I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Okay, it's Morning Talk. Back with me, your host, J.C. McCauley, along with the champions of talk. Today's talk champion in the studio, Cleo Duke-Wright. So we're off to the races, Miss Cleo.
Okay. All right. We're off
All
to
right,
the races.
we're
Okay.
off to the races. Right,
Okay,
right,
let's
right,
go.
right. So that's Judge Coleman's announcement, and
All right. You got something to say, Stan?
no.
You want me to say something? I'll say something.
All right, go on. I mean, we're gonna play. We're gonna roll every person. You know, we're gonna go out. We're gonna cover the candidates throughout the campaign. We're gonna have the network's gonna run a series of debates, cause you know how I feel about the elected class is they work for us, folks. Whether they're your friends or not is irrelevant. They work for you. So to me, the campaign it's a job interview. They're applying for a job. This is not this is a job application or interview.
If I'm your friend, if I know you and I'm your friend and I'm coming here, I really want you to do a good job, and I'm cheering for you. And all them people in that, they came because they wanted to come. They came because we needed change in Hartford, and that change has not come. And so if I knew everybody there, which I'm sure he does, I'd have went out there and talked to him. Just talk to him. And tell him you want to be man, why you want to be man, how much you love Hartford. I wouldn't have talked about nobody else. I'd have talked about what I feel and what I wanted to happen and ask them to be with me, and work with me. And I'd have looked them dead in the face and asked them there. And I would not have, I really do love you, Eric, but I would not have talked to a piece of paper. To a certain, I was just disappointed in that. I was disappointed. I was disappointed because I didn't see him. Because I knew that wasn't him. I just wanted him to be who he was. And just tell us like it is. So I could say, so I'd be free to say, Eric, come on, after it was over. Eric, come on, such and such and such. Get an earful. Not just on a piece of paper with not even not even looking at us. No. And I know he's better than that. So I know he's better than that. Maybe he was nervous. And in announcing, I don't know what that was, but it was something. Something wasn't clicking right then. Even though all those people that were there were for him. I mean, right there. You should have ate that up. You know, you should have. They were there, though, just waiting for you to. He didn't even have to have a speech. He could have said almost nothing, and they were for him because we're so hungry in Hartford for a change, so hungry that the people count. He could have just said the people count, and I'm gonna make sure and do my best job that you come first. That this Hartford is yours.
You should run for mayor.
And I would have said, it is not an outsider's Hartford. I would have said that.
Right.
Not from across the water. From right here. A mayor should be chosen for Hartford, from Hartford, who loves Hartford, who knows Hartford, not by these little invisible people up here. So let's work together to make Hartford ours. Period. And I'm going to work toward that. That's it. I love you all. And we're going to work we're going to work so I could be mayor of Hartford and make a difference. And I am not going to give in. Because you know, it is not going to be an easy job. And there's going to be some pains to go along with it. But keep going. We're going to keep going until we get what we want, we get what we need, because this is our town.
Right.
Not them little invisible people. It's our town. They playing games. They playing games with us. And we're tired of it. Shoot. I'm sorry.
No. But this is. I think it's important that the candidates know what the constituents want. I mean, we're on a razor's edge of being fed up with all of y'all.
All of y'all.
All of y'all. And I don't think they really totally understand this. It's not personal. It's like, why can't we get the quality of services and delivery that focus on Hartford?
Right.
And it's not a game for us. We're not like spectators.
That's right.
This is our lives. And so to me, we're interviewing individuals who say they want to run the city for us. And so you know, I need to hear policy. I need to hear vision. I need to hear a critical analysis of the fixes. What is the plan? There's not a single person going to run for mayor in Hartford, or city council for that matter, because we're going to do the city council people too. City council and also mayor. There's not a single person going to run for city council or mayor that's going to tell us a problem with the city that we don't already know about. So it's not like they're telling us something new, that there's crime. We know there's crime. What are you going to do about the crime? So we don't need an amen chorus of what's wrong. We need, how are you going to fix it? It's like the plumber comes to your house and he says, well, you know, you got a sink is stopped up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's why I called you. How are you going to get it? Well, you know, we need to get that thing unplugged. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. I picked up the phone and I called you. So get to work. Do the job.
Yeah.
I told you, you know what's wrong. I know what's wrong. Go do the job. So That's what. And the thing is, our present mayor would have went out there without the paper and ate that crowd up and told them what they wanted to hear, even if it was not true. It wasn't true. He had no intentions of doing it, but he's gonna charm you to death. Okay? He's gonna charm you to death, and if you just look at it and think of what's happened and think of the things that he said, and stop thinking he came to my house and he smiled at me and he came in my house and I just think he's just wonderful because see this. Look at Albany Avenue. What about Albany Avenue? He had nothing to do with that. Look at Albany Avenue. Look at this. Look at that. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. All of a sudden, there's all this work in the streets. They're fixing up all the streets and all of this where I live on Blue Hills Avenue. You know, at first I said, my goodness, all this work, all these streets. You know, we need to get what we need, and we need to be important.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
we don't need any person in the mayor's office doing his own thing and using us to do it. We don't need that. We should not have to deal with that. I don't have any more to say. I mean, I really just get excited and get, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm in, we're in, you know, the cattle drives on the old westerns, and we're the cattle.
They're driving us to
They're
slaughter.
driving us this way, and they're driving us that way. And if you tell them this, they'll go this way, and you tell them that, they'll go that way. And we never stop to think, what is happening? What is the result of all of this? And, well, we probably know basically who's behind this. But the speech that Judge Coleman gave, I was thinking, he's going to be so mad at me. I was thinking, who was he talking to? Why did he write that speech like that? Why did he write that speech like that? I know he wasn't talking to me when he wrote that speech. Who was he trying to please with that speech? So that's what I thought, and I hope I haven't made another enemy.
Well, I think your assessment is good, and I concur. I mean, you know, unless the speech is written to the press that doesn't know him or something along that line, but of course, everyone hears it. So these are the issues at hand,
Right.
And so you know, our task is to report it out as it happens. And to, you know, it's going to be a very interesting year because there's going to be several people making announcements.
Right.
We're going to cover them all. Then we're going to have some forums and debates. And I am absolutely positively looking forward to hearing I want to hear every single person who comes in for an interview. And I want a full interview. I'm not interested in being wowed or plowed over. I want to hear what you all want to do for our city.
I just want to say that I hope that we're learning lessons that in the last 7 years, that we're learning lessons and that we're not voting because of race or culture, or we're voting for a person who has served the city and wants to make it better. Not a color, not a culture, but someone who really wants to help in bringing Hartford to a better place.
All right. Morning Talk. Stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. How do you define evil? Is it the pedophile school administrator or taxation without representation? Is it the gatekeeping community leaders who sell out the very people they are fighting for? Or is evil the politician that puts out lies and takes in cash? However you may classify evil, having to choose the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. No wonder so many people don't vote. It's time for constituents to flip the script and leave the plantation of party politics and free your political mind. Make sure you ask the candidates smarter questions.
Good afternoon. My name is Nwalki Tete. I'm a parent to a student in Hartford High. And I would say the program was very good. It taught us a lot about how to deal with our kids, how to handle situations. So I would say it's good for all parents to partake if you can. And our coach was very good. She taught us a lot about the Parents University. So I'm so happy and I'm glad I took part in the Parents University. So thank you so much. Love you. My name is Nwalki Tete. Bye.
Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, welcome back. Morning Talk. I'm here with Miss Cleo. And it is indeed Friday, which of course means that we're rounding up the end of the week. Those of you who watch the program on repeat, well, the original program airs Friday. Some of you tune in and watch on demand. But all you need to do is remember 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. All right? 7 days a week. Just tune in at 8 in the morning or 8 in the evening, and you'll watch Morning Talk. All right? For those of you who like Bible study, things along that line, remember 10 o'clock. 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening, Light Source Victory Television. All right. So any good stories?
Good stories?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like what?
Like from good stories to tell. Although, when you were talking about you were passionate.
Well, that's what I want. Yeah, where did that come from?
I could feel that coming through the screen, and I'm like, I was right there, which I'm about to shed a tear with you.
Oh,
that's from the heart, and I hope that people take it to heart.
all right.
that it's coming from the heart. And, that's people have to, I hope people are listening. And, yeah.
Well, I had a, I think I remember. I have a story. I was studying the parable of the sower.
One of my favorites.
And they say it was in Matthew it says Jesus' first parable. So I'm reading about the parable and its meanings and all of that. And the parable is that there was a sower or a farmer who went out to sow his field.
Mm-hmm.
And they just threw the seeds out like this. They just threw them out. And some of them fell on the wayward path. And those paths were the paths that people that walk on all the time. So the grass never grows because you're always walking on it. And the birds came and ate the seeds. And then there was the rocky path, and there was a little soil on that path, and so these seeds started to grow up. But when the winds came, when trouble came to those stones, it just washed away. They were all excited at the beginning. Yes, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And then when the hard times came, it just died, withered away. And then there was the thorny path. And that thorny path, as the seeds grew, the thorns squeezed them out, choked them to death. You getting me? Choked them to death.
Mm.
And then there was the good path. And those seeds grew 100-fold, 60-fold, 30-fold. I mean, there was a great amount of seeds that multiplied and multiplied and multiplied and multiplied. So, it doesn't take a lot of people to spread the word, to have it grow and grow and grow and grow. So that's the story of the sower. It seems to me most of the seeds don't grow or die.
Mm.
It's just that little patch that's going to make it work.
Mm.
A little patch, 100-fold, 60-fold, 30-fold. Boy, what's the difference? What's the difference about all those seeds that didn't work?
Mm.
Look at what the good seeds did. So don't be nervous about being the only one or just two. You could change the world.
Mm.
So that's a kind of the story of the sower.
Well, that's an interesting. I never looked at it from that perspective. I always looked at it as from the biblical perspective, few there are that enter into. And so out of the multitude that have the opportunity, only a few choose to do something. But I never ever looked at it as it only takes a few to do a great work.
That's right. And that's what Scripture says. 100-fold, 60-fold,
Yeah.
30-fold. That's what the Scripture said. Now, that's one indication. Now, the other interpretation of that is that he was talking to his disciples.
Mm.
And the disciples were saying, how come you work so hard and get so little in return? So the other interpretation was for the disciples.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a lot.
Mm-hmm.
because you can multiply, and look at Christianity today. It's all over the world. So that was the other interpretation that they gave, that because the disciples were kind of discouraged.
Mm-hmm. The ability to do much with little, or the ability of the few to do a lot. At the end of the day, most of the decisions that affect all of us are made by a handful of people.
Yes.
So it only takes a few that are willing to make a real big change. And I think lots of times there aren't enough people. Well, let me rephrase that. People who actually can get things done and make a difference sometimes count themselves out. You know, but your vision, your plan can be the difference. I talked to a friend of mine yesterday. He's a little bit older than I am. He would like to think that he's like 30 or 40 years older than me. But he's only like, he's like 4 years older.
But
So
30 years smarter, right?
Right, well, that's highly debatable. Highly.
I mean in his mind.
In his mind, oh yeah. Yeah. And so, you know, I think he thinks that sometimes he's not condescending, but he likes to position his comments like he's you know, like he's like, he got 30 years on me. And I have to always remind him, we're the same age here. It's not like you're, you know, it almost sound like brothers. You know, you're only 2 years older than me, Tommy. You know, but he's always talking about the things that are going on in the city. But he's retired from doing stuff in the city, and so it's my contention that a lot of the people who have the wisdom to make all the fixes are just watching what's going on instead of doing something about, well, we're going to let the younger folk do it. You know, I have no problem letting younger folk do it, or for that matter, older folk, as long as they're actually doing it. But if you can do and know what to do, then put your hands in the soil and plant some seed.
You know, we were once young too, and think about all the things that we did wrong, that if somebody had guided us a little bit, we would not have made that mistake. I think that's older people need to always think about that. And even if the younger person doesn't do it, you got it in his mind. He can't forget it. So one day that person may turn around, may get smarter, but you can't. Older people are so important. I don't know why we think we're not important. We're very, very important. But we do need to learn how to get out of the way sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say this about the campaigns. One thing, now that we're talking about this, one thing I did notice was the young man who introduced Eric. That's his campaign manager. And the one thing I thought that resonated with my mind as you're speaking is he said that this was his mentor, and that he's able to introduce his mentor. So I guess his mentor, in many different areas, I would imagine, but in the context and framed in the setting, I would take that as political mentor, because you're a campaign manager. So if you're the campaign manager and this is your mentor, it's, he's mentoring the next generation and giving him that opportunity to grow as he launches into a new campaign. So, where you're talking about the senior or the elder or the wise sage, getting out of the way, but also guiding the way. I think that's That's my one takeaway, based upon what you were just saying. Yeah. Miss Cleo, our time, we done ran out of time.
Oh, what? So soon?
It went by like a blizzard. Just
Wow.
gone. What do you got planned for this weekend?
Well, I have no idea. That is just so up in the air. I had a big meeting, but that's canceled. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Hopefully that my husband won't be in the hospital or something. So I'm probably gonna spend a lot of time with him. I don't always spend a lot of time with him. I practice escaping a lot, but I think it's gonna be
escaping so you can have some time for yourself.
Yes. Because my name, I'm sure some of you go through this. Somebody is calling your name every 2 minutes or so. Cleo, Ma, Cleo, Ma. And on my job, he says Cleo every couple of seconds. Cleo. But by night, I'm really sick of Cleos. I don't want to hear anymore Cleos. But that's my plot. That's my life. That's my life. That's my duty.
Such would seem to be the case. I know my wife always. I don't know how she actually has to get up at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. to actually get work done. Because both of us work from the home. Her knucklehead husband is always bothering her. honey. Then the kids, and so you gotta wake up in the middle of the night to get work done, so that you can be unencumbered with the time vampires.
Yeah, my son says I used to say no more mommies. Stop calling mommy. But I don't remember that. I said I could never have said that. He said,
"Oh yes."
Oh yes. Yeah, you said it, so I guess I did. I don't know.
All right. Well, my friends, our time together has come to an end. The political race in Hartford's underway, with the first candidate to enter the 2023 mayoral race being Judge Eric Coleman, former state senator, and we will see who's next. Whoever they are, we'll bring them to you so you can hear them for yourself. You all have a blessed rest of the day. Bye-bye.
My name is J. Stan McCauley, and I do business as Light Source Productions. I provide professional services in the area of strategic video communications. First, what we do is we help you craft your message using what I call the rule of the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. We do event documentation, content acquisition, full-scale productions, editing, and of course distribution through our social media television network. And with social media, video is more important now than it has ever been. whether you're talking big business, small business, nonprofit, church, or just an individual. Let's say you plan you're planning an event, a wedding, whatever the case may be, but let's say a big event, but no video. You spent all this time, all these hours to put this event on, and maybe 100, 200 people attend the event. But more important than that is that thousands could attend by watching it on social media. But of course, you don't think about this until after the event is over. You can't afford not to capture it for social media. And despite what people think, I am affordable. Give me a call. Let's plan your next video project and share it with the world on my social media television network. I promise you that you will have the attention of one person, me.